a girl was with two guys, she was a slut, right?
Yeah.
That we were so Chippendales comes around and everyone's let's that with our inner girl came out and that was fun. They were rowdy crowds. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, if you're going for the right reasons, there's a different sort of, like I was going really sort of for the wrong reasons, but going for the right reasons of just sort of a fun night out, I guess. But it's a tricky space because like, should we be sexualizing anybody really? And or really trying to see have, deeper, more meaningful um ways of living. And so, and I think that's something that I probably write about really, excuse me, in all my books to some extent, is just finding what is sort of emotionally authentic.
yeah, because I think you're right. I mean, and all of us, I mean, those are really fun things. And I think sex is good either way, as long as it's consensual. So it doesn't matter. And the guys there at Chippendales or the girls that do that kind of thing, they're in it because that's what they like to do. That's fine. That's their as long as it's consensual, that's their job. That's fine. But finding a loving relationship in that you have to go beyond the parameters. You have to go to the soul because the body is not something that you're going to live with forever. It's the soul that you're going to stay with for married for 40
Exactly.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me more about your books, your life. I want to hear more about you. You sound so interesting.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, so my first book is Because I Remember Terror, Father, I Remember You. And that is about growing up in this incestuous family. And that book is obviously the darkest book. And then my second book is Lovesick, which is about 28 days I spent in rehab for sex addiction. And that book was made into a Lifetime TV movie, which was very exciting.
Wow.
I know, I really liked that. It was a really interesting experience. Um, and then
What's the name of the movie? What was it
it's
eventually called?
called Lovesick also.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Great.
And it's starring Sally Pressman, who used to be on Army Wives and has
Okay.
been in a lot of TV movies. Um, and then, so those are sort of my two kind of darkest books.
Mhm.
And then I wrote a book called The Pat Boone Fan Club. My life as a white Anglo-Saxon Jew. And yeah, you can tell from the title, it's sort of ironic. But growing up, I wanted Pat Boone to adopt me. And because he had this really squeaky clean, very wholesome image.
Mm.
So he was everything my father wasn't. So for me, he
Wow.
became like this metaphor for like the safe father.
Mm.
And so, so it wasn't like a crush on him. It's more, I just wanted him to be my father. He had like four daughters,
Mhm.
and I wanted him to be like his fifth daughter and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah,
That's
and
sad that you had that upbringing, though, that you had to think of it.
yeah, yeah, no, I know. But I mean, the book is it's a collection of essays, and it's not. There are only about four essays that are actually about Pat Boone. I later on did actually meet him, and so it's sort of about this relationship that we now have. But it's also really more overall about this narrator's misguided search for spirituality, just kind of looking for spirituality, but really in the wrong places because she doesn't know where to find it in the right places, really. So that's sort of the theme of that book. And then the next book is also has an ironic title, uh, How to Survive Death and Other Inconveniences, which
I love that title.
thank you. And it's sort of it started out kind of being about like my fear of death because I really am scared of it. And but then it kind of evolved, and it's more about sort of different forms of death. I mean, like, we can have emotional death, spiritual death, like say if you go through a divorce or a loved one dies or we get sick. So it's sort of about just different ways of kind of looking at the idea of death very broadly, through a lot of different lenses. So that's what that book is about. And then I've written a couple of craft books. One is Acetylene Torch Songs, writing true stories to ignite the soul, to sort of encourage other people. I think I'm a firm believer in personal narrative and how important everybody's story is. And so it's the book kind of there's craft things like how to do it, but it's also a kind of sort of a little pep talk about how important, like, everybody's story is important. Some people think, oh, I didn't do anything and nobody would care about my story. But like, I don't believe that. I think that anybody's story can be important if you write it, with emotional authenticity, metaphorically, and don't just say, like, this happened to me and this happened to me. But if you really dig deep to find out, like, what do these things mean?
Mhm.
And I give you an example really from my new book.